Welcome back to Movie On. Today I'm going to explain the movie called Gemma Bovery from 2014. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. So without any further delay, let's get started. Gemma Bovery is a French film with an IMDb rating of 6.4, and it has a 43% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. This film is directed by Fontaine, and its producers are Mathieu Theroux and Philippe Carcassonne. It's an R-rated movie, meaning it may not be suitable for some of the audience, and is definitely not for kids, as it contains some very bold scenes. Gemma Bovery is based on a graphic novel by Posey Simmons. Some people also call it an erotic drama, and at its lead role we have Gemma Arterton. In the opening scene of the movie, we see a man whose name is Martin, and he's come from Paris to a village called Normandy to start a peaceful and stable life. He lives with his wife and son and owns a bread bakery. As the movie begins, we see that Martin is working inside his bakery and has accidentally burned all of his bread. His wife comes and confronts him and asks him why he's doing this. He replies that he was thinking of Charles. After that, Martin was going somewhere, and he sees smoke coming out of Charles's house. He goes there and sees Charles, who is burning all of Gemma's clothes. After Charles goes back inside his home, Martin picks up a diary from a box. That diary belongs to Gemma. After picking it up, he goes back to his home and reads it. After this, the flashback starts. Now we see that Gemma and Charles, who are married, some time ago when they came to a small village in France from England, where they were greeted by their neighbor Martin. After meeting them, Martin kind of fell for Gemma. The next day, both Gemma and Charles go to Martin's bakery, where Martin starts to stare at Gemma. After a while, we see that Martin's dog is chasing behind Gemma's dog, and Martin comes at the right time and stops him. After that, Martin and Gemma are shown to be walking around and spending time together. While saying goodbye, Gemma smiles, and Martin thinks that this smile is enough to make all the desires of the past 10 years vanish. At night, power goes out at Charles's house, and he comes to Martin's house to ask for his help. Martin becomes happy after hearing it and quickly leaves towards Charles's house to find out what's wrong and fix the issue. Gemma, Charles, and Martin all sit together and a little chit-chat begins between them. After a while, Martin's wife also joins them, and all four of them start to drink and eat beefsteaks together. Gemma and Martin's wife chat together, while Martin keeps quiet and only stares at Gemma's body. The next day, when Gemma comes to Martin's bakery, Martin tries to talk to her for a little longer, so he starts telling her about all the wonderful qualities of his bread, and asks her if she wants to know how this bread was made. Gemma happily says yes, and then Martin takes Gemma into his kitchen and teaches her how the dough is made. While making dough, he asks Gemma how it feels. She says it's quite amazing and relaxing. Martin says that this is his daily yoga. Gemma starts to feel hot and starts sweating, so she takes off her sweater. After that, Martin stares at her quite lustfully. In the next scene, we see that some guests have arrived at Charles's house, and among those guests, there's one girl who is quite fit and good-looking. Gemma asks her how she's so fit and good-looking. She tells Gemma about her routine. After that, Gemma starts to jog daily. Some days later, Martin meets her and asks her why she hasn't come to his bakery to buy bread. Gemma replies that she started dieting and walks past him. After going a little farther, she screams. Martin, after hearing it, goes there and reaches her. Gemma tells him that she was bitten by an insect. She asks him to unbutton her shirt and take the insect out. After taking out the insect, Martin says to Gemma that the insect is out, but he still has to suck out the poison. Gemma then says, "Hurry up and suck the poison out, it's hurting quite badly." Martin asks Gemma should he really suck it out. She says yes, and Martin starts to suck the poison out. At this time, a young boy comes there, whose name is Harvey. He sees them in this awkward situation and asks them, "What are you doing?" Martin explains that an insect has gotten inside her clothes and bit her. He's just sucking out the poison. After that, we see that Gemma gets unconscious, so Martin and Harvey hurriedly pick her up and take her to the hospital. In the next scene, we see that Martin and Harvey take Gemma to the hospital in Harvey's car, and after gaining her consciousness back, Gemma thanks Martin. Gemma then takes a look at Harvey, and it looks like she already likes him. So after thanking Martin, she starts to stare at Harvey. While going home, Gemma places her head on Martin's shoulders in the car, and he becomes really happy because of it. The next day, Gemma comes to the market for shopping where she meets Harvey, and they both talk with each other for a while. Martin, who as usual is staring at Gemma from his bakery, tries to make assumptions about the conversation between them. He knows that Harvey only wants to take Gemma to bed, and he has no other feelings or intentions for her. After some time, they both leave and head back to their homes. After that, we see that Charles tells Gemma that he's going to organize a party at their house, and asks her to go and buy wine for the guests. Gemma comes to a shop to buy wine, and Harvey also happens to be at that shop. Gemma and Harvey both meet with each other and start chatting, where Harvey suggests wine to her, and Gemma buys the wine that Harvey has suggested. After that, Harvey leaves the shop and goes home. After buying the wine, Gemma gets in her car and drives away. Martin, who was following Gemma in his car, thought she was going home, but instead she goes to Harvey's house, and Martin sees this and starts waiting for her outside the house in his car. While waiting for Gemma, Martin gets very suspicious, thinking in his mind what they're doing inside. After a while, he thinks maybe they're just drinking, and he drives back to his home. In the next scene, there's a party going on in Charles's house at night. Martin is also present there. He's only thinking Gemma and Harvey have been together for more than an hour. What could they have done? While he was still thinking, he sees a hickey mark on Gemma's neck, from which he understands that Gemma and Harvey have been intimate today. Martin starts blaming himself by thinking that all this happened because of him. If he had not taken Gemma to the hospital in Harvey's car that day, none of this would have happened. The next day, Martin asks Harvey about how his study is going. Harvey replies that these days he's kind of disturbed actually, so his studies are not going so well. At this, Martin suggests that Harvey should invite his girlfriend to study with him, and Harvey replies by saying this is a good idea. After saying this, Martin leaves and goes home. In the next scene, Martin sees Gemma walking towards Harvey's house, and he follows them. After a while, he sees Harvey and Gemma intimidating, and he thinks that he should talk to Gemma and make her understand that this will not go well, and that this has no future. She still has time to stop and get out of this. But then he thinks maybe she would get offended, and the relation between Gemma and him may be affected by this. The next day, we see that Charles is leaving because of some work to London. After Charles leaves for his journey, Gemma goes to Martin's bakery and buys 2 cakes, but accidentally forgets 1 cake at the bakery. Martin, after seeing this, takes the cake and goes to Gemma's house to deliver it to her. But as soon as he reaches there, he hears some noises outside Gemma's house. Harvey's confessing his love to Gemma, and after confession, they both start to be intimate. After hearing and seeing all this, Martin leaves and goes home. He eats the cake himself, and as he's eating, his wife comes to him and says that after Charles left, Gemma seems to be quite happy. After some days, Charles comes back from London. At the time Gemma was going outside, Charles asks her where she's going. At this, Gemma tells him that she's going out for a jog. In the next scene, Gemma enters the house through the back door and changes her jogging shoes with good-looking stylish ones. After changing her shoes, she leaves the house and goes to Harvey's house. As soon as she enters his house, she removes her coat, under which she's only wearing undergarments, and tells Harvey that her husband has come back from London. She has only 1 hour with him. After that, they get all lovey-dovey. While being intimate, they accidentally hit a statue and break it. At this, Harvey panics and tells Gemma that this is his mom's favorite statue, and that he will be in quite a lot of trouble if she finds it. Gemma tells him not to panic. Her husband is a carpenter, and tells him to bring the statue to her home later. She'll ask her husband to fix it. After finishing, Gemma asks Harvey if he will be going to London with her. Harvey says yes, and says that he's ready to go anywhere with her. After that, Gemma comes to Martin's bakery to buy bread, and tells him that after some time, she'll go back to London permanently. Martin, after hearing this news, becomes really heartbroken. Martin's wife, who was also there after seeing Gemma, says after her husband left for London, she was not too happy. In the next scene, Harvey's mother comes back and is trying to find the statue all over the house. When she couldn't find it, she says to Harvey that we've sent you here to study, not to fool around, and she also asks Harvey about the statue. To save himself, he lies and tells his mother that the statue had some scratches, and he has sent it to an Englishman, Charles, who is a carpenter and lives in the neighborhood, to fix it. After that, Harvey's mother tells him that he will be going to Paris with her. During this, Harvey receives a text from Gemma that she's going to come over to his place. Harvey at once replies that his mother is at home, so she should not come over, and he won't be able to go to London with her because his mother is taking him to Paris. Gemma, who was at the gate of Harvey's house, after reading the text, becomes very sad, and tears begin to flow from her eyes, and she comes back from Harvey's house. In the next scene, we see that Harvey's mother goes to Charles's house and asks Charles that his son has brought a statue to him to fix. Please give it back. At this, Charles replies that no boy has come over and given him any statue to fix. They both start arguing, and Harvey's mother, while leaving, gives him her card. In the next scene, we see that, while seeing Harvey leave, Martin is very happy. At night, Charles tells Gemma that today a lady came over and was asking about a statue, and she was very furious and had said many things. Gemma, after hearing this, says to Charles that she wants to say something to him. Charles thinks for a bit and comes to a conclusion that she may want to confess that she was cheating on him. He gets up and, without saying anything, leaves for London. In the next scene, we see Gemma crying, and Martin is in the garden playing with his dog. He sees Gemma's dog and picks it up and goes to Gemma's house to give it back to her. After opening the door, Gemma invites Martin inside the house and shows him a letter that was sent by Harvey's mother. In this letter, Harvey's mother has written that if they didn't return her statue soon, she'll take legal actions against them and file a case. After that, she asks Martin what they should say to her. Martin asks Gemma to give him some time to think on this. The next day, Gemma's ex, Harvey, who betrayed her, comes over to Gemma's house, and she asks him why he's here. He says that he's here to ask for forgiveness for his past actions and mistakes. After some time, Martin sees Gemma and her ex, Harvey, kissing each other. After seeing this, Martin thinks about Gemma. What type of girl is she? Where Gemma says to Harvey that what has happened today will never happen again, so don't get your hopes up. On the next day, we see that Martin goes over to Gemma's house and tells her that he was the one who called Harvey's mother over. Gemma asks Martin, "Why did you do this?" Martin answers, "I didn't want to see you spoil your life." Gemma finds this very comforting and kisses Martin. After that, Gemma calls her husband and says that she really loves him a lot. Gemma's ex comes over to her house to meet her and asks her to come to London with him. Martin bakes a cake for Gemma and leaves it in front of her house. On the other side, Charles also comes back from London and is getting out of his car. After a while, Charles comes running towards Martin and tells him to come to his house because something has happened to his wife. In the next scene, we see Martin comes to Charles's house and sees Gemma's dead body is lying on the floor of the kitchen, and his ex is sitting close to her. After a while, we see that the police arrive and are taking away the dead body. Now the question arises, who killed her? Martin asks the policeman, has Gemma died because she ate poison? But the police replied no. The cause of her death was suffocation. A piece of bread was stuck in her throat and she couldn't breathe, resulting in her death. On the next day, everyone is shown to attend Gemma's funeral. Martin goes to Charles and Martin accuses him of her death because he was the one who baked the bread. Charles says, "No, she died because of you." When he came back, he saw Gemma's ex, and he was holding her from behind, so he thought they might have been doing something and began arguing with Gemma. And I also started fighting with her ex. So the piece stuck in her throat. Her ex says he was responsible because Gemma was eating that bread, and he was the one who kissed her from the back, and the bread got stuck in her throat. At some distance, we see that Harvey is standing beside Gemma's grave with flowers in his hand, and in his mind, he's accusing himself of her death. He thinks that because he left her, she got depressed, and that led to her death. After this flashback ends, and after 6 months of this incident, Martin's son comes to him and tells him that a Russian couple has moved to their neighborhood. Martin goes out and welcomes them as he did to Charles and Gemma. And with this, the movie ends. To watch more explanations of these kinds of movies, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video and also share your opinion about this movie in the comments down below. And at last, I will say, stay safe, stay well, thanks.